Losing weight can be one of the most frustrating things that you do in your entire life. And for a lot of people, they don't even know the hidden missteps that cause them to keep the weight on in the first place. And social media doesn't make this any easier. If you've ever been on social media, you have seen every single food on the planet being demonized in one way or the other.
They're crap. Crap, mega crap.
And you've also had people that simplify the process of weight loss by just telling you to eat less and move more, which is as helpful as telling someone who wants to make money to just earn more and spend less. The truth about losing weight is that you don't have bad genetics, you don't have a slow metabolism, nor are you too old. Instead, there are a few hidden mistakes that keep you from losing fat despite all of your hard work. And how would I know? I've made all of them. So if your goal is to drop the weight once and for all, this video is going to be about my 5 biggest mistakes that have kept me fat and what to do about them so you can start seeing the weight go down and start seeing results instantly. By the way, I also have a goal. I want to hit 100k subs. Can you help me out with that? I think we're on track and we can hit it by the end of the year. And then once we hit it, I'm going to do something really cool for you guys. So if you can, please hit that sub button. So here are the 5 weight loss mistakes that have kept me fat and how to fix them. Mistake number 1 is underestimating how much food was going into my body. When I first started to lose weight, I was eating healthy, but then every time I would step on the scale, I would see the same number, and sometimes I would even see the weight scale go up. I thought my metabolism was getting slow, and I thought that I was getting too old. And mind you, I was 30 years old at this time. The truth was, I wasn't tracking my food properly. Now, one thing I need to mention is that calories are not all that matter, but they still do matter. When I started to measure my foods and get clear about how much food was going into my body, I was surprised at how often I was overeating my calories. And this was despite eating healthy foods. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to track for the rest of your life, but you do want to get really exact about how much each food looks. And what I mean by that is putting the raw versions of these foods on a weight scale. And you want to be tracking it by the grams. So you can eyeball how much 250 grams of a chicken breast looks like, or how much 300 grams of a strip loin looks like. This doesn't mean you have to track for the rest of your life, but you do want to do this for a couple of weeks so you can be able to eyeball these amounts and know how much you're actually putting into your body. Also, you will be so surprised at what slips through the cracks in terms of the things that you snack on, the sauces that you use, and all other forms of just hidden calories that you're not even being privy to in the first place. What you may not know is that all this shit adds up, and you want to get exact and very clear about how much food is going into your body. And I did talk about this as understanding the cost of food in the video I did in terms of how to be more fit than 99% of the people in the world. Now, my next mistake is something that I see a lot of people doing, which is putting too much of an emphasis on cardio. So at the time of doing this video, it's May. And as the weather gets warmer, I'm starting to see a lot more people just go and pound the pavement and start jogging to their heart's delight. Now, a small percentage of these people may be training for races, they may even love running, but I'm going to assume that most of them are doing it because they are trying to lose weight. Now, what I'm going to say is probably going to be sacrilegious to a lot of people, but one of the worst ways to lose weight is being in a caloric deficit and using running or cardio as your primary means of exercise. Yes, you are going to lose weight, but a significant portion of that weight is going to be muscle as well. This reminds me of a new client that came in. So what happened is that he lost a lot of weight, and he did so by being in a caloric deficit and also doing a lot of running. I'm talking about like 5Ks, 10Ks, and then when he come into me, he actually said that, Dan, why are we not doing any running? And I told him, it's like, yes, you can lose weight while you're running, but also if you're not trying to supplement that with any weight training, then what's going to happen is that you're going to lose a lot of muscle. Now, fast forward 12 weeks, we go and do a DEXA scan with my client, and what happens as a result is he actually gains some lean mass while he drops body fat, which is what I consider to be the gold standard when it comes to body transformation. And we didn't have him run one bit. We actually just had him doing steps, 10K steps a day. That's all he did. And that was usually through the form of walking. And look, if you love running, awesome. keep on doing it, but just make sure that you are supplementing your exercise with some form of resistance training, because the goal is not necessarily to lose weight, it's to lose fat. But along with resistance training, make sure that you are avoiding the next mistake. Mistake number 3 is I was not eating enough protein. So when I first started to lose weight, I was told to do a DEXA scan before and after. And what you should know about the DEXA scan is that it is the gold standard for body composition, for seeing how much body fat you have, seeing where you hold the body fat, and also your lean mass. On my first journey to losing weight, I ended up doing the DEXA scan before and doing the DEXA scan afterwards. I got down to my lowest weight and I was so excited to do this DEXA scan. I was legit excited. And then when I did the DEXA scan, the person who was doing the DEXA scan, they had this sour look on their face. And I was like, what's wrong? And she was like, Dan, you've lost body fat, but you've also lost a lot of lean mass. And no, I didn't hit 10% body fat like I thought I would, because I was always attaching my weight to this body fat percentage. The reality is that when you lose lean mass along with body fat, what happens as a result is your metabolism goes down. And even though I was weight training and resistance training as my primary means of exercise, I wasn't eating enough protein. And protein is the single most important macronutrient when it comes to changing your body composition, when it comes to losing weight, when it comes to building a physique. A high protein intake reduces appetite and also balances a lot of weight regulating hormones. And most importantly, it helps you keep, if not build, all of that hard-earned muscle. Now, in order to maintain muscle, if not build some muscle, you want to keep yourself at 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. And you want to split this up between 3 to 4 meals a day, and this is going to help you go from just losing weight to actually burning body fat. Now, my 4th mistake was taking flexible dieting way too far. So in the fitness circles, you're going to see a lot of people saying that you need to keep your diet flexible in order to make this thing sustainable. And as long as calories are kept equal, you are going to lose weight regardless of the types of foods that you put into your body. And to a certain extent, I agree. The concept of flexible dieting, it has its benefits, but it doesn't really work well for people who have legit food addictions to the point where they will eat junk food to the level of being in a food coma. It's like telling someone who has a legit food addiction towards chips that they can eat chips as part of their healthy lifestyle is like telling an alcoholic that they can have a shot of bourbon to keep things flexible. And if there's anything that I know about addiction, because I've dealt with it in my life, it's the fact that abstinence is one of the best tools when it comes to removing addiction from your life. Now, this doesn't mean that your life has to be all about just eating whole foods and single ingredient foods and all that kind of stuff. What this does mean is that you should have very hard and set boundaries and rules, especially if food addiction has been an issue in your life. Being flexible is cool when it comes to your diet, but also you have to understand your limits as well, especially if you have ever dealt with any types of food addiction. Now, my final mistake might fly in the face of everything that I just talked about, which is the concept of just focusing way too much on weight loss. Something I realized on my journey to get lean is the fact that I had no control over what the scale told me every single day that I stepped on it. I had no control over my inches. I had no control over these outcomes. The only thing I did have control over was the foods that I was putting into my mouth, the exercises that I was doing, the information that I was taking in to get myself to this place that I needed to be. Something I realized is that the more you obsess about outcomes, the more you invite anxiety into your life. And this is because you're trying to control something that you just don't have any control over. My biggest win when it came to this whole getting in shape process was letting go of even trying to lose weight in the first place and putting the focus on the person that I was becoming and the lifestyle that I was creating, so that weight loss or getting lean or burning body fat was just a byproduct of my behaviors and actions. And also, I did like these little mental tricks on myself, which worked. So instead of telling myself to avoid junk food, I told myself that I like to eat healthier. I enjoy eating healthier. Instead of telling myself that I need to work out to lose weight, I actually told myself that I need to work out for my mental sanity, for my energy, and because it makes me feel awesome. And this whole journey to getting yourself in shape, it's not about like stressing over these outcomes per se. It's about being the person that makes these outcomes inevitable in the first place. Because you just don't want to lose weight once and just to put it back on like most people do. You want to be able to lose weight once and keep it off for the rest of your life so you can go on and living and start focusing on other things. And the way towards getting permanent changes is to change who you are inherently as a person. So I know that a lot of these changes are a little bit on the high level, but you gotta zoom out and you gotta understand what to avoid before getting into this whole mess known as weight loss. Now, I did do a video that gets more tactical on the exact things to do in order to lose weight. And it's on this video that's called If You Have 20 Pounds or More to Lose, Watch This. And that video is right over here. So go over here and watch that video if you do have 20 or more pounds to lose. Thanks for watching the video. Peace.